Welcome back to the State Farm Analyst Desk, where it is a rematch of the spring finals here as Team Liquid look to topple Cloud9. And though both teams here have had ups and downs throughout the entire split, their full roster seem to be coming into and hitting their stride here at the perfect moment, right as we approach playoffs.
Yeah, I think especially for Team Liquid, when you look at just raw number of games that each roster iteration has played, this is actually basically the fewest one, and this is the spring dominant one. You see, when it was Alphari Santorin, they're 2-1. They have the Alfaro Mayo, which is 4-4, Jenkins Santorin. But just in terms of raw number of games, it's actually their starting lineup that has the least, and that was the one that was in the spring finals. And so that's why, for me, a lot of this split is almost even like a wash, where it's like this isn't the team that we expect them to be.
Even in that spring finals, the fact that they had Armeo for that one is
Yeah.
like, we just need the attended roster.
Yeah.
We need the Avengers together for the final run. And I think that's what I'm sure the players are thinking, getting things sorted. And you know what? When they had their last two games, it felt like even though you had in Santorin, the story for me was just their bot lane.
Yeah.
Their bot lane performed insanely well, had 2v2 kills consistently. The Caitlyn game, beautiful, right? It felt like tactical came into form, and a lot of it was, tactical throughout the entire game. Also, Core JJ on his Thresh, on his Leona, amazing. And it reminds me of what this team was in Spring Split and what they can still be in this last run.
Yeah, and I think this is where Santorin coming in does help a bit. We've talked about, I know you guys talked about this on the dive too, about the pressure that you could kind of tell that Core had to make plays all around the map, in addition, because Armeo might not have been providing that same amount of pressure. One thing I really did love that we've seen from TL this week is we saw like a very standard, like stock standard TL draft yesterday. And then the draft that Mark and I did the day before, we saw them do something completely different, which was really, really cool. Like, first of all, I love this draft, but for TL, it was a big departure off of what they typically do, especially because of topside, because you have that Malphite top. And so I actually really loved it because it showed that they're also thinking about, okay, we can play like our very stock standard lane dominant way, or, we can run this like fast push turret buff Olaf like wombo combo team fight thing, and it also worked out really well. Like, I actually loved that draft.
Yeah, and they can set up plays, and what was interesting for this one is around side lane still, which is hilarious, right? There's a flashless Jace in the top lane. I'm Malphite, I can set you up. Like,
Please come here, sir.
Please come. Easy kill.
I mean, that's the thing. I'm worried for any team when you take a look at TL having success with Alphari on a pick like Malphite, right? Because you're like, you don't want to have to try and remove that as an option from them and force him back onto a carry where he's going to build a 50 CS lead in 15 minutes and stomp on you anyway. Like, what is the approach here for a Cloud9 that looks at a reformed Team Liquid?
I think, they had a lot of success targeting Alphari. Every time that they played against him, it was the Fudge Blabber 2v2 gank top. And so while Alphari coming back has looked good, that was the blueprint they used time and time again. Run it again. Just see if it works.
Run it back.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, that was the worst look from Team Liquid in their end of spring split, because that's when they had Armeo, and I always felt like, if that finals, you run that back, Santorin in your lineup.
He's covering those ganks.
He's covering those ganks, right? So like, that's where I look at this team and say the best is yet to come. And I look at Cloud9, and my thing is just get on the same page. Because when they had that huge lead at that game that we were looking at, and of course they threw it in the play down bot side, and I think on top of that, we have talented players across the board for Cloud9. If they're at their top level, you can see that finals level, spring finals level competition again. And so I love where the LCS is going, where there are just that many teams that are vying for the championship.
And this is where I know we've harped on this on the desk a lot, but this is where I think Blabber, and especially Blabber and Fudge's communication, is going to come in really, really well. We've heard Blabber talk about what an instrumental part Fudge has become of their comms. Every time I hear a Fudge interview, I feel like he's always talking about minion wave management, which I really, really love. And it shows that his communication with Blabber, if it's on point, that is where they they can attack TL where they're vulnerable. They can make Alphari vulnerable. They can make those top lane matchups volatile enough that then they can snowball it through that if Blabber and Fudge are communicating really well, and if Blabber has room in the jungle to play something he's confident and comfortable on, that they can snowball.
Talks about two things: minion wave management and MVP voters being idiots. Those are the two things
That's
that
it.
Fudge talks about.
Don't care what they have to say. They're idiots. They're not intelligent, rather.
They're not.
I guess,
Excuse us.
is what it was. Quickest way to Emily's heart through minion wave management.
It
That's
is
what
true.
I have learned.
I thought it was jungle path.
If I have learned,
What happened?
Yeah, jungle pathing. Right. Okay,
Both.
yeah. If I've learned anything over this last year, next to Emily as an analyst, is that she cares a lot about minion wave management. But we're diving into champion select between Cloud9 and Team Liquid. First slate of bans already out there on the table. No Thresh for Core JJ, so definitely taking a look at the bot lane. The Olaf also hits the ban table while Xin Zhao is left up for Blabber.
Might see the Viego come up pretty clutch. I think also, Jensen's willing to play it. Alphari's willing to play it. It is a far more flexible pick to Team Liquid. So you definitely need that now that all these junglers are on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, Viego gets through quite a bit. He's kind of in that tier where you're an A tier, top of A tier, but you're not quite in the OP broken category. Xin, for a lot of people, has been in that. He's been banned quite a bit. So to see that trade given up for Team Liquid, I assume they have something pretty specific that they want to take 1-2, because usually when you leave something really strong up, it's because you want to make sure they don't take the thing that you really want.
I have zero statistical support for this statement, but I do feel like of all the teams to get Xin Zhao, most recently, Cloud9's gotten it the most. Why are people leaving this champion
All right,
up for
stats
Blabber?
team, tell him if he's right before this segment ends.
I do want to know if I'm actually right.
I think you are.
But I kind of feel like, I mean, it's probably he's gotten it 2 or 3 times. It's
Compared
not like an
to 0.
astronaut, but compared to most players getting it either 0 or 1.
Yeah.
It just, again, when I think about the way to attack teams, when we think Cloud9, most of the time when they struggle, it's when Blabber's not looking good. And Xin Zhao just feels like too perfect a champion for him to pilot.
Yeah, it gives him the power to call for his own plays and to really be the decider around the scuttle crab fights or early drags, something like that. For Team Liquid, they went for the Leona. I want them to go towards the Tristana pick at some point. I think they could either go Trist and then try and flex it here, or try and go for a Syndra pick, knowing that they have a potential Viego jungle. That could work for their 2v2. But I do think that Tristana has done them a lot of good for a very long time in the first phase.
This is an interesting little support wrinkle that's gone in. Because with the Thresh ban, that's one of the most annoying matchups for Leona. And, Core JJ is a great Leona, so you take it right away. But then that allows a support counter pick in the first phase of the draft that you normally don't see, which is Braum, which is also just annoying for Leona because she goes in and you just can't get much done. And that also pairs decently well with Aphelios just being really annoying to get on top of.
Yeah, and I was thinking that something a little bit spicier or more dramatic was going to come out of TL when they were setting up and trading the Xin Zhao, but then this looks like a very stock standard TL look right now, right? Like we know Viego's going jungle 99%. And then they have their bot lane locked in, which is like.
Are you ready to see Core JJ roam 17 times?
Yeah,
I mean, especially with Ezra. He'll leave.
live agency for Core.
I'll do it.
Yeah, like this is a very TL look already.
I mean, Core JJ is looking for any reason to get away from tactical.
Right.
It's like, hey, how do you feel about Ezreal this game?
Exactly.
Interesting thing here with the Irelia being banned, I think these could just be threats to a GP pick for Alphari. Like the composition right now from Team Liquid has like a good bit of range from Ezreal already. You can try and amplify that. And also one of the risks of having an Aphelios without a Thresh is the fact that anything that rains down upon him in terms of like long range, he just has to sit and take it. So that is one option. GP immediately banned though.
Yeah, there's also just right now, because the bot lanes and jungles are probably the match positions, you're banning things out of their pool that you don't play.
Yeah.
GP is one of Alphari's best champions, and Fudge does not have a huge proclivity towards it.
I think it's interesting that they banned the Syndra on TL's side, because that would be a pick that I would expect them to take.
Now, as we make our way through the second phase of bans here, 2 points. One, I'm going to cop to my incorrectness in the statement around Blabber getting Xin Zhao the most. He is tied for second most games. Xin Zhao behind Sven Skaren.
This is why
Sven Skaren of EG.
This is why I don't trust you.
I know. Well, this is why you shouldn't trust me, and it's why they mostly have me be quiet while you guys say
That's
smart
why I got to
things.
speak from your gut and block out the stats and run.
It's about how you feel,
Don't
James.
let the stats
How
get
does
in the way of the
Blabber pick
narrative,
make you
right?
feel?
Never let the stats get in the way of the narrative. Second thing, though, is about the stakes of this game, as we do see the Jace picked up here. I just want to remind folks at home that while we do have a three-way tie for third currently between Cloud9, TL, and Evil Geniuses, the stakes of this game is that if Team Liquid wins, they lock third place right here, right now. If Cloud9 wins, there are no locks. We have to wait for the future games of the day. But one thing is guaranteed, of course, that Cloud9 will finish higher in the standings than Team Liquid at that point. So just a little bit of context for what is at stake in this game. But the Jace comes in for Team Liquid, following it up with the TF in the Camille. So some side lane focus.
Ooh, going into the control mage here. So you either can go two directions. You can follow the Twisted Fate with a Silas pick that was still on the board. Or the issue is, of course, then you would probably get outscaled. Or you can go towards longer range. Azir is an option. They do go in that direction.
Resident sleeper, dude.
Yeah.
Azir, Ezreal, Jace.
Most TL draft.
Oh,
We're
God.
scaling.
We get zone control. We poke you out when you try and come to objectives.
Yep.
C9 want to
So-
split that up. They don't want to have to deal with all this poke.
Right, number of minutes Cloud9 has to win by.
I don't think
not get
No,
out.
I mean, I still think they have some late game protection with the Aphelios.
Okay.
Like, I
Even
actually
Camille.
think they're not bad. It's just going to be like, how are they going to set up these picks, and are they going to be able to set up their side lanes well and cross map trade, which is something that we've kind of pointed out C9 has made some mistakes on in the past.
Yeah, so I fully expect Cloud9 later on in the game to just make use of the top lane win con of Camille. That's what I want to see when the game gets to that point.
TF go top.
Make use of Twisted Fate.
Okay, so it all comes full circle then. A lot of what we talked about in terms of Cloud9's traditional way of attacking Team Liquid by going to the top side sounds like it might be what we see here. And then it becomes about whether or not Team Liquid and Alphari can weather that storm long enough to get themselves into a comfortable position in the middle of the fight or in the middle of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's two different win cons, but both are going to be able to scale throughout the entire game.
All right, well, from here, as the teams load into the Rift, it's time for us to head out to the arena for the call.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for our third game of the day here. C9 going up against TL. And for those of y'all that might have missed the conversation on the desk beforehand, Mr. Azael, would you please tell everyone what's on the line here in this game?
Yes, sir. So TL win, they will be third. EG will end fourth. Cloud9 would end fifth. If C9 win, they will end above TL, but whether or not they get third will depend on the EG game.
Okay, so TL, with a win here, can guarantee a
They are
lock
third,
for third.
C9 is fifth if TL win.
Okay, so C9 want to be able to prevent that, obviously trying to end higher in the standings and longtime rivals here in TL. Let's see if they can make it happen. Here at level 1, doesn't look like we're going to get a whole lot of action, although all 10 players, well, 9 out of 10 players are around the same area. Of course, Sven is having nothing to do with this. He is just posted up in bot lane ready to farm.
As all Aphelios will.
Indeed. And a reminder to everybody as we're waiting for the action to start, if you can't get enough of Dash and Kobe, you can always get a little bit more in your life. Tune into this or that on youtube.com/LCS every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific time is when those release, and then you can watch them at any given time that you so happen to choose. Now, Perks in the mid lane, just starting off here with some nice early aggressive trading against Jensen on the Azir. The desk lamented the Team Liquid composition here a little bit with the long range, stay safe, just poke them of both solo lanes and their bottom lane carry there. So we'll see if they can keep that range and sort of just choke C9 out of the game, or if C9 will have that aggro to go for the jugular themselves.
I mean, even the comment on Azir, so it's more that poke style from Jensen as well. You've got Azir, Jace, as well as the Ezreal. You're looking to poke him down. You're looking to whittle him down. On the other side, it's going to be about 1-3-1. I do think that Cloud9 could potentially win 5v5 later on because Aphelios Braum is just nuts.
Yeah,
late
Aphelios
game.
is crazy late game.
Yeah,
right?
like you can really make things happen. And That is always going to be a win condition for them as well, especially if you can draw people out to the side lanes with globals and then overload a team fight in a 5v4 or these types of plays. A lot of it is going to be about the play towards top lane, though. And this is really scary when you are playing as Alphari, because in this type of matchup, to get ahead, you have to push, you have to poke, and guess what that does? It exposes you to ganks from the Xin Zhao, it exposes you to roams from the TF, and that is what you've always got to be worried about. But if you get too worried about that, and you're just playing max range, only playing for farm against the Camille, well, guess what? You're just going to die anyway, because Camille from even or ahead is going to slam you later on. So it's really one of those matchups that you have to play with a ton of confidence on, and Alphari is the guy to do it.
And Camille is very strong in the current state of the game right now, too. Right?
Yeah.
This champion poses a lot of threat to any target that she can close the distance on and just be that sticky threat.
They want to die.
ultimatum.
He's
Now,
skipping
let's
Scuttle.
see. Okay, Blabber's ready to go. The TP's already coming in. Sven with the flash forward. Tactical has abandoned Core JJ underneath the turret, and the damage goes through. First blood over to Cloud9. Jensen with a teleport into the bottom lane, but it's not enough to do anything. Cloud9 get what they came for.
I love that aggressive move there from Cloud9, skipping the Scuttle, going straight for the dive, pulling Jensen out of this 1v1, forcing him to match your TP. As Perks as well, and they are going to be able to get that first blood right onto Perks, so he gets the benefit of making that play happen.
Oh, yeah.
On the other side of the map, of course, Alphari sees that going on, and he says, all right, nothing to worry about. Play aggressive, get in their face, TP down on TF. Blabber is on the bottom side of the map. So he's chilling, and he can push this out very, very safely. And we'll see if he wants to look for an early base here, but instead just going to replace the Trinket Ward, exact same spot on the corpse of the previous one. A warning to his other wards.
Let him know. Oh, speaking of letting them know, Vulcan waited in the brush. Tactical and Core JJ now got to be ready for this. Stun comes down on the Ezreal. He's got no way out. They should be able to finish this one off here. A little bit more damage will get it done. They don't have enough. A nice sidestep to avoid Sven's Q.
I think Vulcan's Q did not connect at the start of that. We'd have to watch it one more time, but I think it maybe hit a minion or perhaps even Core JJ as he actually flashed in to start that up. That one was incredibly close, though, and Perks now.
Perks having to flash away. Santorin flashes after him, but the flash follow is a mistake, and Santorin cannot get the kill.
Yeah, I mean, Santorin going in there, he didn't have his abilities up. It's fine to make that flash happen if your W or Q are up because you have the damage to actually finish, but you know, Perks had a good 200, 150 health. Let's see this one more time. Did he actually connect with the Q? I think he didn't, because I didn't actually see the debuff on him immediately. I think it came from an auto. Yep,
hit the minion.
That's what I thought. It's the clip. It's because what it is the hitbox is wider than the projectile. It's one of those situations where the side of the door as you're queuing out there, it does connect. So to actually land that, you would have had to basically put it further than to the right than where the character model is.
You trust the lollipop
at
the end of the projectile to do the connect on the hit.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of weird. It's counterintuitive because you're not aiming at the character, but you got to bend it around. And that, I think, was actually the difference. He was low enough that I think had the Braum Q hit, I think he dies. So a little bit of an error there, but still putting the pressure on. And when Ezreal is down, you know, 2+ waves this early, you are feeling really happy about the investment towards that bot side. Yeah, Blabber's down a camp or two. Who cares? He's got an assist. It's really not relevant at this point.
Right. They don't really care too much about losing that one camp's worth of gold if you're going to be able to get your carries ahead, if you're going to accelerate the rate at which Perks will be able to affect the entire map on a champion like Twisted Fate. So Cloud9 feeling good about things. Blabber again here in the bottom lane. The amount of focus Cloud9 is having around this part of the map, you know what the game plan is.
Yep, it looks like they want to go towards Dragon. You know, with everyone moving, I think it is just going to be the Dragon start here. They grab Scuttle for the potential turn. They look to set up for this Dragon. Fudge having to kite back. Alphari waiting out that passive shield and does get a nice little trade down, but Fudge still has his TP available, has been keeping very close as far as the farm goes, so he's feeling pretty good about it. Blabber can likely start this one up and will do so now. The question is, okay, so Fudge actually had to TP.
That's what I was watching too. That's what I was watching too. I was curious if they were going to wait, have him sit in Fountain, and then bring it down here for the Dragon fight.
Because Alphari, if Alphari backs off, and TL want to contest, you could get a 5v4, but it doesn't look like they're willing to make the move for it. They're kind of spotting it out now, but it is going to be too little too late, so not a big deal. But it will mean you've got to track TP. If Alphari is not on top of Fudge, if Fudge is not there to interrupt him, Blabber cannot just be going wild on the bottom side. If you
No.
play overly aggressive, if you chase and they have a flank ward, that Jace will punish you.
Well, that's what TL will be looking for, and that's what Cloud9 have to be oh so aware of. Blabber hitting level 6 now. And this is really important, too, because remember, one thing that we pointed out is the cost of that early play, that first blood dive for Cloud9 is, yes, Blabber was slightly behind in terms of farm or whatever. That's not the case now. Santorin is still level 5 on the Viego. Blabber level 6 on the Xin Zhao, feeling great about the current state of the game.
Absolutely. You know, he's been putting a lot of pressure on. They made the early dive happen. The return gank barely did not get the kill. No fault of Blabber there. But it did still continue to put that pressure on. And anytime Perks is moving out of lane, Alfari's got to be sweating a little bit.
Ooh, speaking of sweating, Alfari just bringing the pain on Fudge here.
Well,
But Perks with the TP, with the ulti underneath that top lane tier 1 turret. They're finding a little bit more damage here. Perks is tanking up the turret as long as he can. He uses the Summoner Spellbook heal to stay alive. Fudge will do the same. They get away, but Jensen's coming in now to clean one up. Make it a 1-for-1 here in the top lane.
Honestly, not bad at all for TL. That is the ulti down from Perks. It is a trade of flashes between the top laners. The ulti used by Camille. Jensen gets there and makes it that 1-for-1 trade, and it was close margins. You know, it almost didn't work out. Perks was only able to tank that additional tower shot because he had that spellbook heal.
Yes.
So good calculation by him. You do get the kill on the Camille, though, which means it's more in the favor of Fudge in that 1v1. This is just a nice stuff from Alfari. When Jensen moves top, he's going to push this out. So it's the job of Alfari to actually go towards mid and push that.
Ooh, Jensen. He uses the Emperor's Divide, but Blabber with good mindfulness.
Oh.
Jensen, that flash sucked. Santorin's coming in now trying to find some sort of a retaliatory kill. Blabber can dash to safety audaciously towards those minions. He stays alive, holding the E there, waiting for Jensen to fully face check the brush. That was the difference maker.
Yep, that was perfect. He's on top of melee range. Don't just spam out the E. He waits till the Emperor's Divide is used, then uses the gap closer afterwards. Jensen with the flash you never want to see from one side of the character to the other, but still in range. And now it is a redive on the bottom side.
C9 setting it up again. Tactical takes the damage, and he's dead through the heal, but they will get a return kill with Jensen showing up here with a TP, killing off Sven. Vulcan tries to get away, take Core JJ with him, but it will not happen. Jensen gets revenge, and he makes it happen nicely for a double kill.
Man, Jensen is plugging holes left and right here for TL. Man on a mission trying to stop these plays on the side lanes because Cloud9 has been relentless. Every kill that TL has is just Jensen roaming the top side, picking up a kill. TPing bot side, picking up a kill there. He has been great on the Azir. The fact that he's kept up his farm and just been huffing it across the map over and over.
He's putting in the work. He's going around the map as much as Twisted Fate is. Very impressive stuff coming out of him. So Jensen, with all 3 of Team Liquid's kills, let's take another look at how Cloud9 tried to repeat their first Blood Dive success.
Yep, they take off the initial plate. And you have to kind of track Perks here. It looked like Core JJ did a really good job actually locking him down because I don't think the gold card ever even got used. It is the Q, the E to follow it up to root him out, so he couldn't actually get that down, but we are back to live, 4-man play top.
C9 just doesn't stop. They're going for the dive yet again, this time onto Alfari. This time it doesn't work. Blabber is denied. Jensen is here with the swoop. Alfari's still going to be your target, but it still will not matter. Cloud9 do nothing but give it over to TL on a silver platter.
And Jensen is huge. Flowers 5-1 on the Azir, 11 minutes in. Cloud9 went for the play here, but they didn't have enough damage to finish off Alfari. He played it very well, the knockback on the hookshot from Fudge, and then because Fudge was actually taking up the tower, he stayed on the outer ring of the aggro and wasn't really dealing any damage to the Jace himself, so they were missing out on that Camille damage. The peels end up coming through as Core JJ arrives, Jensen arrives, TL had the read on the dive that Cloud9 wanted to get done there. And for the first time, you know, it's been kind of just trying to withstand these dives. They actually destroyed this one. They had the early warning, the TP comes through. And this is where I think Fudge should actually just go in and be dealing more damage, then use the ulti to reset the tower aggro. Instead, he did not. Blabber gets locked down by Core JJ. Jensen arrives. Perks and Vulcan were trying to escape, and Jensen just scoops him right back into the tower. They get the shutdown onto Perks. Jensen has 5 kills and just got shutdown gold. He is going to be massive
Jensen with his Leandries with a stopwatch in inventory. He is in a great spot to dictate this game moving forward. 12 minutes into the game, Cloud9 have the only Drake so far. They also have that Rift Herald Eye in Blabber's inventory, still have about 2 minutes left to use that one, both on the timer and for plates. Perkz looking to
He's going to turn on him. The
find
kill
any
card's
sort of
getting
damage
fired.
here. Yep, there it is. Throws out the Soldier, but the Everfrost, TF plus Everfrost is such a disgusting combo.
Yeah, it's definitely an... Oh!
Ooh.
Okay.
Jensen with the stasis to make sure he doesn't die there, and now for the counterattack. Goodbye, Perkz. Santorin gets his first of the game.
Yeah, Perkz going for the play there, but forgot to check the pocket wear over on Jensen. The stopwatch gets popped. They do take tower down on bottom side. Jensen low.
Oh, nicely done. Blabber with the flash in for the stab. Beautiful there. Cloud9's jungler gets one back.
This game is a banger. We're having so many kills back and forth here. And Blabber, big shutdown gold onto him. He's 20 CS up on Santorin as well. They're going to look for the next dragon here with Jensen down with no TP available. There's not really any ability for TL to contest this, so the dragon stack will continue at a pretty quick pace. Not incredible, but fairly speedy. It is going to be Cloud, as it always is here, but the ultimate cooldown is actually really nice for the C9 comp, so we can watch this one more time. Perkz barely gets in range. Jensen was trying to actually kite it out so the gold card would expire, then turn, but he barely gets in range for that hit, then tries to pop the gold card here, and flashes in for that. If it lands with stacked deck and the Q follow-up, Jensen is dead.
He just died,
Instead, the stopwatch was there in time. Jensen purchased that off of the shutdown he got from Perkz. So thank you, Perkz. I'll take the stopwatch I got
Thank you,
from killing
Perkz, for letting me kill Perkz.
Exactly. The rich get richer, Flowers.
Blabber shows up just to eat the rich a little bit there, stabbing through the heart, takes some of that money back.
Taking down the 1%.
Gore Drinker done for the Xin Zhao too, so a little bit of extra survivability in those fights. And honestly, Mr. Rizal, we are seeing mythic items come online for 8 out of our 10 players in this game so far. Do want to point out, Tactical with a Trinity Force instead of Divine Sunderer here in this game. Not something you see super frequently, but when you look at the opponents, he's probably looking at this and saying, okay, the extra tank killing power of a Divine Sunderer isn't going to go that far against targets like a Twisted Fate, like an Aphelios. Camille builds more bruisers, Xin Zhao builds more bruisers. They have a lot of health, they don't have a lot of resistances, so the Mythic passive won't get that much mileage. I'm not quite sure if this is correct. I'm not an expert on Ezreal itemization. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mean, the main advantage is you get 30% attack speed, like on the actual item itself, you know, compared to the Divine Sunderer, which is not going to have any attack speed whatsoever. So if you're talking about pure DPS, it will be higher. Fudge may get chased down here. If Alfari can get behind him, he can knock him back.
Flash from Fudge, nice and early, being respectful of exactly that. Wants to make sure that TL can't follow up and complete the kill here. Cloud9, despite being down a couple of kills, still up 1,500 gold thanks to the turret that they've taken, thanks to the plates that they were able to acquire for themselves. And of course, with that 2 Drake lead, they're also applying pressure to TL in that way. Now pushing up this mid lane. True Shot Barrage fired out from Tactical to clear out a little bit of the wave here, and C9 will not push any further.
Just going to play it safe, backing it up there. Perkz did use the ulti on the bottom side, but I think it was just a scouting ultimate. He wanted to make sure that he wasn't getting collapsed on down before he pushed out that bottom lane. But there is a cost to that, and yeah, we'll have to see how Tactical actually, how this works out for him. You know, the actual Mythic passive is not really, like, I wouldn't say it's more damage than Divine Sunderer. Of course, there's going to be math and based on the opposing team's itemization.
Right.
But it's like, it's 3 ability haste, I believe, 3% attack speed, and 3 move speed. Or sorry, 3 attack damage, 3 ability haste, and 3 move speed.
Okay.
But it's mostly just about the 30% attack speed that is actually on the item itself. So the attacks will be coming out more frequently. If you feel that you can make use of those auto attacks and you're not just going to be like a long-range Q spammer, then you are going to put out higher DPS.
All right, well, the Rift Herald has been started up now for the 2nd time this game. It will be targeted by Team Liquid instead of Cloud9. Ooh, Fiona ulti comes down. Core JJ was looking for a pick there, but won't be able to find it. Now Blabber with a re-engage, dropping the ulti immediately to immune some of the damage, some of the counter-attack from Team Liquid. Fudge has made his way into the fight. Core JJ with a nice stasis, keeping himself alive, but he will not stay alive much longer. A little bit more damage from Sven, seals the deal. The kill onto Alfari makes it a 2-for-0. Cloud9 take that fight.
Yeah, that's a big one. They get the stopwatch off of Core JJ. They kill him off. They get the flash off of Alfari, but he was locked down in the ultimatum. They'll kill him too. Nice reaction there by Vulcan. Didn't have a lot of time to actually block that true shot barrage, but if he had gotten hit by it, likely would have been pushed out, and now they're trying to force here on the Rift Herald. Fudge is behind them. CL could all die.
Blabber's over the wall, and he's ready to go. Jensen tries to buy himself enough time to get away. He will do so.
He's going.
Perks is ready to go. He wants to cut off their escape route, but nobody else from TL will die here. C9 will manage to claim themselves this Rift Herald yet again. And one big thing that I noticed in that fight, Santorin did level up at the back end of the fight, so he is level 10 now. Going into that, Blabber was level 11 versus level 9. That is a massive difference in jungle EXP.
I mean, he's just straight up out jungling very hard at this point. He's been more active on the map. He has farmed more camps. He has taken the dragons. Yes, the lanes do have to do with it as well. But Blabber has been playing a great game, and I have to give him credit. You know, over the last couple weeks, I think he has really been getting back in form in time for playoffs. Blabber has been impressing me. He had not looked like himself, you know, since MSI for a lot of the summer split. And I do think over these last couple weeks, Blabber has looked good. And when Blabber is looking good, Cloud9 is a threat to any team in the league.
And so much of it to me is champions too. Like, I love seeing Blabber on a champion like an Olaf or a Xin Zhao. I hate seeing Blabber on Rumble. I don't want any more Blabber Rumble. I don't think anybody that is a Cloud9
He's just not a Yordle kind of guy.
Yeah, he's not a Yordle player. We need to see him on Vikings. We need to see him on Arena Fighters. We need to see him on this type of stuff because it just seems like so much more his element, right? And Blabber doing a great job here this game. 2-1-3, going after this third Drake of the game for Cloud9. This will bring them to Soul Point for that Cloud Soul. You already mentioned how, yes, even though Cloud Soul itself gets memed on, the ultimate cooldown reduction is huge for things like Twisted Fate.
Twisted Fate, Camille, and also when you want to play 1-3-1, 10% flat move speed is very valuable. It gets so dangerous for Alfari to actually be playing in that side lane, not to mention TF ults in with the move speed boost there from that Cloud Soul. That becomes extremely difficult to escape from. A lot of critical ultis here. Xin really cannot team fight without the ulti. You become paper. So I do think it's actually quite powerful this game. And the fact that they are on pace for such an early one here, you know, we could be looking at 24 minutes in. Cloud9 get Cloud Soul. TL has yet to show up 4-1. They are down in gold. It's 3 dragons to 0. And Cloud9 are looking fully in control, and TL, you know, kind of continuing their struggles in the summer split against top teams. They have, I believe, 2 wins against EG, and that is it against the top 4 teams. And, you know, that is a total of like 12 games. So if they lose this one here, they are, I believe, 2-10 against the top 4 in playoffs, and that is not a pretty picture to paint going into best of 5s.
Not a great look, especially when you consider the overall landscape going into playoffs. It feels less certain than ever here in Summer Split 2021 who the favorites are to win everything, right? Most of the times you head into playoffs and you're looking at 1 or 2 teams, you're saying, okay, that's our finalists, or at least that'll be the quote-unquote real finals that'll happen at some point, and you expect one of them to be the winner. TSM, 100 Thieves, Cloud9, Evil Geniuses, Team Liquid. Half the league, I think, is a viable option for winning the whole damn thing right now.
I mean, I think TSM is playing probably the best League of Legends right now. You know, they have been consistent on stage. They are showing well, but C9 breaking out into a fight here by Baron.
C9 going after him yet again. Core JJ is your target. He's already gone. Fudge swooping in from the side, and Jensen with a beautiful 4-man ulti, but it is not enough just yet. Vulcan will be the first Cloud9 casualty. Tactical's coming in here, ready to unleash the damage, but he's going to have to do so much. Jensen's popping off. He's got the kill on Sven. Blabber's about to die now, too. Team Liquid turns it right back around.
Team Jensen, baby. The Azir is taking over. That looks like a Cloud9 win in that fight, and Jensen mops him up, knocking down everyone on the Cloud9 side. They're taking a stance by the Baron. That was a fight they absolutely had to win, and Jensen made damn sure they did.
Okay, Tactical going in for the kill onto Perks now. Oh! Wait, how did he get it?
Ranged minion.
Ranged minion. We were talking about this earlier, man. Those ranged minions, they'll get ya. they'll get you good. And Tactical gets his second kill of the game there. Nicely done. Let's take a look at our Honda performance play, how TL and Jensen turn this around.
Yep, they're going in immediately, but it's Core JJ soaking up so much of this damage. Jensen kited back very effectively, avoided really all the damage coming through, creates space with the Azir ulti, and then as they try to funnel around this wall, we had the Azir wall like right here, everyone's trying to funnel around behind it, and they all line up for the soldiers. Jensen demolishes them. That was so well done by him, negating most of the exhaust, positioning well, funneling Cloud9 through that choke. And as the gold card expires here, Tactical sees his opportunity to go in, and I think it was
Caster Minion.
Caster
There was
Minion just
one
hit them
auto.
with that last auto.
One auto in the air gets it done. Tactical. Guaranteed.
Oh my
Holy
God!
cow!
Look at this! Look at this! What is that?
Wowee. Okay, Jensen's got the damage. He is the man with the plan, but Tactical is down. That is disaster for Team Liquid in this fight. Sven's got a double kill, and Cloud9 is on the hunt. Jensen will try to stand and fight now with his allies going in to hold the line in front of him, but nobody on Cloud9 is dying anytime soon. They'll kill off the enemy jungler now, too. That smells like Baron to me.
Yeah, Baron's on the menu. Tastes like chicken. They're going to grab it here. Taking it down. Jensen, the lone man to survive. You can see the frustration on Core's face. He knows that could very well be the game. Losing Baron against the 1-3-1 team 30 seconds before Soul is available. That is a crippling blow. Perks did get caught out a little bit there by Jensen. Jensen's ulti was forced. Oh my God. I think that was a Time Warp Tonic proc. I think he actually popped his Corrupting Potion before that landed.
I clinched a little bit on that one. I'm not even playing the game.
Because I saw like plus 100 or something right as the Ezreal ulti hit him, and he was very low. I would actually love to see
if we could get a replay of that, that would be sick.
Because maybe it was closer than I'm imagining, but that looked really close. It would be fun to see a replay. Cloud9, though, are going to be moving out onto the map. It will be about the Soul. TL have control in this area. They may just run
TL's just
down.
burning it. Yep, they're trying to burn it. They're throwing the TP down here. They're saying we can stop this, and Cloud9 will let them. They do not want to throw away this Baron, trying to go to a Drake that they're not in position for. That's fine.
Exactly, and because they're going to get a lot. There's both the towers are still up top side, so they're going to get the tier 2 mid here very likely. We'll see if they do have to actually retreat. And meanwhile, Fudge is pushing top, so they're pressuring 2 lanes here with the Baron. 2 towers already down here. TL had to commit to going to that because they couldn't give Soul over. But Cloud9 say, all right, sure, you can have a little bit of ulti CDR. Who cares? We'll take 4,000 gold.
And that's what you buy yourself with early Drake control. That's what a 3-0 Drake lead buys you, is so many repetitions of this low-risk, high-reward Dragon scenario. If they get it, so what? It's a tier 1 Dragon. You can get one of those at 6 minutes. Most of the time, the other team won't even stop you. But that's the cost. That's what you bought. And that's what C9 have now with a 6,000 gold lead at 25 minutes.
Yep. And at this point, it's a man with a hat and a dream for Team Liquid.
A chicken with a hat is all that stands between TL and Doom. Okay,
Let's see this.
Let's
so
see.
he sees the ulti coming in. Did he? Oh no, he popped it after. So the heal just comes through afterwards. So never mind. Wasn't even Time Warp Tonic. That was incredibly close. Wasn't what I thought it was. So massively less exciting. I'll take the L on that one.
I mean, hey, dude, that's not an L. You tried to give a real analytical breakdown of how it happened, and I looked at it and went, ha, he almost died. So you still had a better take than I
I should
did.
have gone with that. That was the more accurate analytical point in that situation.
Scorpion Brain
EXD.
prevails. All right, Cloud9, they're going for the dive on Alfari now. He's stuck up, stunned up underneath the turret. Buys himself time here with a nice use of the stopwatch. Underneath the turret, though, is
Jensen's looking
still
for the
a
flank.
death sentence for the enemy support. Core JJ is down, and Cloud9 has a 5v4 for the next 30 seconds. Tier
They're
2.
keep pushing, man. They have the wave here, and it's going to be tough to hold on. Jensen has got to do a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yep, they've got a 4v5. This is their reality on the side of Team Liquid. Blabber is going deep, looking for more threat onto the enemy carries. Team Liquid falling back. Alfari has returned. Accelerated Shock Blast is going to make Perks a little cautious about things here. And with Fudge and Perks both below half HP, Cloud9 opts to back away.
Yeah, the poke a little bit too much. Perks trying to zone back the Azir so they could take the tower. I think that is the right move. You know, walking forward with the rapid fire gold card, he stuns him up. Blabber then trying to push him back as well, but they took a lot of poke doing that, and it meant they actually could not commit to taking the inhibitor itself. So while they do extend the gold lead, they're still in a great position. They have not taken down an inhibitor. They have not gotten the soul or dealt really lethal damage. And they're still going to have to be careful about how they play out this game because you've got to play the side lanes well. If you take a bad team fight in a corridor, Jensen can 1v9 this game.
Yes, Jensen has the power. He is the only person who has the power. When you look at everybody else's scorelines, 1-3, 1-2, 2-2.
He's got a couple extra soldiers this game.
Yeah, he's got a few extra sand soldiers that happen to have some different fancy skins. It is the Jensen show. He must be the carry here. And for me personally, I don't think this has been a good split overall for Jensen. He has had way more underwhelming and unimpressive games than he has had good showings from what I have seen. And so this is an important chance for him. If he can somehow bring this back from the dead, that's a huge way to say, hey, I'm still here.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, we just have high expectations for a player of his caliber.
Yeah.
He's
always been in that conversation for top of the league, best mid laner, right?
Exactly. And I think it's fair to say he hasn't been in conversation for the best mid laner in the league this split, right? And, given that context, I absolutely agree. It has been a step back for him, in his career where he has been so historically dominant. He's always been in that conversation, and they have been struggling against top teams despite building this roster that was really meant to dominate, bringing in Santorum, bringing out Alfari, and they have had their hiccups with roster swaps and health issues that have really, I think, waylaid some of their growth.
And I feel for him in that, right? Like when you look at a roster like TL, when you look at the names and just the star power on this squad, and then you realize how many issues there were with roster stuff in top lane, in jungle, that stopped it from being that well-oiled machine that a lot of Team Liquid fans were hoping to see. You're wondering, well, I feel like we still haven't seen, what does that summit of power for Team Liquid look like?
Yep, the closest we got really was Spring. They've been trying to build back towards that. I think have looked better over the last couple games since Santorum did rejoin the team. But here they are with a tough challenge against Cloud9, and Cloud9 is the ones running the game right now. 20 seconds here until Cloud Soul. It's going to be about the setup. There's not much deep vision. There's no ability to actually look for flanking TPs or anything like that for TL. They're going to have to move forward as a squad, try to poke out Cloud9, try to establish control. And it looks like they don't feel that they can do that, so it's just going to be giving over the Soul.
Give it up. Perkz also wisely picking his shot here with his Summoner Spellbook 2. Opts for the Ignite, recognizing that could be the difference between winning or losing a big team fight if it happens.
Fudge is actually pushing bot side very heavily. He is TP'd down there, so he's actually shoving up bot. They saw all the TL members come over towards top to actually check over by the Baron area, so Fudge was pinging that he was heading on. It will allow them time to actually push this in, and they are just going to go for the reset. I was thinking Fudge may want to commit more heavily to it, but he decides to back off, and it will just be the vision play here around Baron where Cloud9 are going to have to get some pinks, sweep out the pit. There's no pinks in inventory right now, so they do have sweepers, they do have some regular wards, but they've got to get back to base, fill up their inventory with those pink wards, and really prepare for the next step of the plan, which is going to be control vision around Baron, play the 1-3-1, try to draw TL out to these side lanes, and then either collapse for a pick or move towards the Baron.
Now, one thing that Team Liquid does have going for them for the next couple of minutes is they do have TP advantage. Alfari and Jensen, both of those teleports are ready to go. Fudge's teleport is still on cooldown for 2/3 of the overall time, and Perkz just used his ulti just to get some information. So that's not castable, and he still has Ignite instead of teleport from Summoner Spellbook. So Cloud9 don't have the rotation ability around the map that TL currently do. That is one way TL might be able to sneak a win somewhere from behind this 8,000 gold deficit.
Absolutely, and we'll see how well they're actually tracking this. With level 16, with some CD reduction there on that TF ult, it's going to be up relatively soon. Once he has it, he can look to try to play towards those side lanes, but if Fudge shows bot, for example, TL could try to force on the other side of the map. It is instead going to be Alfari checking this, and Fudge is playing over the wall. I wonder if that will actually end up being a fight. Yeah, he's going to go.
He wants to go after Alfari, but as soon as he jumps over the wall and the hook shot's not a stun, he's like, all right, we're not starting this off that way, just backs back off.
I respect that, especially knowing that Jensen does have his TP. If it's not the perfect fight and you can't 100-0 this guy quick, then
it's bad.
Jensen is going to arrive and you're going to look like a fool. So I do think it is the correct choice there. Perkz, though, will have his ulti here any second.
So
Ghost and Ignite. That's threatening.
With this next fight about to start, it's also important to point out, again, because this item warps team fights, stopwatch on Camille, stopwatch on Aphelios, stopwatch on the Viego. three of these super important champions, 2 high-powered divers and the big hyper carry of the late game, all have that aggro drop here in the next fight.
They just got QSS off Tactical as well, so that is actually really big. They could look for a hard commit onto him. If you can find another rapid-fire gold card on this guy, maybe you just full send the dive with your GAs in Zhao, with the stopwatch on the Camille, you pile in and you look for that kill.
I think rapid fire TF is such an interesting conversation because on Masterminds earlier this week, Hai talked about how he doesn't like it for itemization. Yeah, Hai can't stand it. And to me, rapid fire TF is one of the few examples in League of Legends of Dota-style itemization. Because in Dota, even if the stats aren't great, you build it from an active, right? And that's what rapid-fire TF is. TF, you're not going to care as much about the attack speed or the stupid crit. That doesn't matter.
Lich Bane is much more damage.
It just enables you to play in a different way that synergizes with your kit. And I just find that conversation super interesting because it's not something that's present for most champion item combinations in this game.
Oh, so we can return that in a bit as C9 are starting up the Baron here. TL looking like they want to contest. Fudge trying to get a good angle for the flank. But remember, Tactical, no QSS. Does have sums available, though.
Okay, Perks' ulti has been used. Cloud9 looking for the opportunity to fight. Santorin is very low. Tactical jumps over the wall, but Fudge is ready to go. Tactical down, Sven on a rampage. Team Liquid just erased from Summoner's Rift.
Oh, can he get the penta?
With the quadra kill there. Is this the penta for Sven in their final game of the split? Jensen's very low. Sven's coming in. Flabber doesn't want to steal it. Here comes Sven. He's going after him. Come on, baby. Let's get it. Penta kill!
Through the minion, the Inferno Mono. Sven gets the penta. He deserves it. Cloud9 are gonna take this one.
Cloud9 deal the death blow to Team Liquid in style and will finish above them in regular season standings.
Man, what a finish there. The penta kill for Sven, wiping TL off the map. And what a good engage from Cloud9. It was all about the QSS forceage that I called out in mid lane. They saw QSS was down. Fudge hook shots in. They get in onto Sven, despite the fact that he has flash, that he has his arcane shift. The Camille ulti is going to follow him. We saw that Perks is committing to it with the gold card. He has the rapid fire gold card that you were just talking about, gave him the extra range over the red wall there to actually land it. And that added utility was just so big. It's all about the commitment here to Tactical. So watch where Perks is actually going to come from. It's Fudge coming from here. Perks is going to ult in behind, and they're going to attack from multiple angles here. Fudge finds the opportunity, the stun there. Flash comes over, long range gold card over the top. No QSS, no shot. Sven running them down. And I just love the teamwork here. Full commitment to giving Sven the penta kill. You know you've won the game, so it's all about this. And Sven sees the opportunity here right through the minion. Pop. He gets the crit. He gets the penta. You love to see it.
That's teamwork right there.
That's teamwork right there.
That's the kind of one that really gets the whole team bonded together.
That's where you need more than one honor. You want to honor
the
whole
team
squad.
Needs to be honored for that. Blabber showing the patience of a saint. 100 HP Azir right there. You got his big old spear. I can stab him. I can stab him. Oh, I want to stab him, but you can't quite stab him. That's it, though, for our third game of the day. We're headed to a break. But before you go, you already know what it is. Our continued work with the White House. That's right. The very White House that housed George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and both versions of Grover Cleveland now has set its sights on the LCS and League of Legends. We're spreading the good word of vaccinations. Get your butts back in them seats. I'm talking about a full house. I'm talking about a stacked deck and the kind of twisted fate throws for a pentakill. You know what I mean. Get yourself a vaccine. There's tons of resources. They're healthy. They're safe. It's free. Go for it. On the other side of the break, we will be back with our Verizon post-game interview with Cloud9's Pentakill King, Sven. We'll catch you there.
You would have stole that penta 100%.
Oh, I would have. I would have pulled him right back into the bowels of hell. This one is intercepted.
Decorative towel.
There was a mess. I wiped up a mess.
Yeah, you Where is the box? Never mind, I found it!
When game day is a go,
there's a Bud Light there.
Welcome back to the LCS, everyone. We're here for our Verizon post-game interview. We have Cloud9's Ven on the line. First thing, we are going to get into some of the specifics of what we just saw in that game, but from an audience perspective, there was a lot of hype around this matchup. The intended championship finals rosters of Spring facing off. How did this game hold up to your personal expectations for the matchup?
I mean, in the early game, we were diving every single stack wave we had, and we were really griefing some of the dives. I think there was this one bot dive where I took 4 tower shots, and I died, and I was like, whoa, what happened? I took 4 tower shots, and the one top dive we had, it was a complete disaster as well. So we had one good dive bot for our first blood at 4 minutes. That was a good one. But besides that, our dives were disasters, and we had one bad team fight at Baron where Azir killed everyone. But I think it was a good game regardless, and I think we had a good draft, and we played, I'll say, decently well for the most part. So it's a good game.
It led to a lot of back and forth from the audience perspective, and in the end, you ended up killing everybody. You achieved a penta in the final moments. I'm also happy to tell you that this means that you hold the most pentas of anybody here in the LCS. Can you tell me what the team was saying when this was going on?
I mean, the fight started really well for us, and I think they can't really win the way the fight started on Ezreal. And then it was kind of obvious once I killed, was it Viego, the last guy I killed, who stopwatched, that I was gonna get a pentakill if you could chase down Azir. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, the fight was over in 1 second. It didn't have to, it wasn't even a fight, it was just like a cleanup, and it happened to be that I got all the kills for whatever reason, right? So at this point, we were all just screaming, penta, 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 chasing. I have stun, I have this, blah, blah. So yeah, it's always cool to get pentakills.
Did you feel like the team was working together to make sure that you achieved this here?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Bar was thinking about taking it in the game. He was kind of like considering it. maybe I should just take it right now. I'm like, no, please. It's better he lives there than Byron takes the kill. So, yeah.
Yeah. You want to make sure you have the happy moment there in the end. I'm excited to get your thoughts here ahead of playoffs because I know last time that I spoke to you on the broadcast, you're even joking around about, oh, we're not going to lose to GG because they only beat good teams. But it's been a lot of great play from Cloud9 in recent weeks. So what improvement do you feel has been made and how are you feeling in total ahead of the playoff season?
I mean, in recent memory, we only dropped games to EG and One of Thieves, two of the top teams in the league right now. I'd say EG is top 2 probably with TSM, so I'm not too mad about that. I think both against TSM and against EG, we were in a position where the game it's won, right? We're in a winning position. And against TSM, we should have won 100%. So I think dropping those 2 games isn't too bad. It's a bit of coping, right? But it is true. We were in winning positions against both those teams, so I have a good feeling coming to playoffs, and I feel like some of the teams that were doing really well early in the season, EG and One of These, for example, are kind of slowing down right now, showing some weakness here and there. So I think C9 come playoffs will be really good.
If you think those 2 teams are slowing down, which other teams do you think are picking things back up to be a real threat to C9 there?
I think TSM has shown consistent form over the season. They don't drop too many random games besides their game today against Task, but they were trolling. And I think that TL with Santorin back seems to be better, even though Santorin wasn't even carrying their games this weekend. Everyone else is playing better. So besides today, but TL can't beat C9. That we all know. So yeah, I think TL and TSM are looking to ramp up a little bit. EG, I also think will be a good team in playoffs.
And we'll all be seeing all of that action soon enough. Last question to you. What do you think is C9's greatest strength going into playoffs?
I kind of want to say me, but I think that our greatest strength is that we don't have a big weakness in our team. I think a lot of teams in LCS have one player or one lane or some sort of problem in draft that makes them really easy to predict. And I think we have 3 lanes you can play around and a good jungler. So I don't think we have weakness, which might just be our strength.
If every player on the team is thinking the greatest strength is me, I'd say that's a great place to be. Sven, thank you so much for stopping by for this interview.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to kick it to a break right now, everybody. But on the other side, it is Evil Geniuses taking on 100 Thieves. Remember the roster swaps that they're bringing in for this final game of the regular season. We'll see you soon.